Hello everyone. Hello everyone. Good evening to all. Again, I'm here with the next session of speaking English. Today, we are going to discuss about the 7 tips to be a fluent speaker. So, be connected everyone. We are going to start the session with the 7 tips, 7 amazing tips of speaking English. After that, I hope you will never be hesitated while speaking English and you'll never be scared to commit a mistakes while speaking publicly. So get be connected. Now, good evening to everyone. Is my voice clear? Is this video audible? Rohit, tell me, is this video audible? Is there any problem in voice? Is there any problem in voice? Of course not. Okay. So, be connected everyone. We'll have 2 minutes. Starting the session, as today we are going to take the session of 7 tips. 7 tips of to be a fluent speaker. Already I have told you, and even on the display you can see. So today we are going to discuss about these amazing 7 tips, and after following these tips in your regular life, you can be a fluent speaker. To follow these 7 tips, it is not required to have a lot of work, a lot of word that you have already memorized or you are going to memorize. I'm not giving you the tough task through which you will be hesitated to follow these 7 tips. It's basic tips that is generally followed by the people somewhere. So it is going to work in your life amazingly. So be connected everyone. So okay, now, so let the class get started. As already have said that I am here with the 7 amazing tips of speaking English. So the first, what should be the first tips according to you? As everything starts from imagination, as everything starts from your brain, as everything starts from your thinking, so the first is going to be what? Start thinking in English. First, your first tips to be a fluent speaker is start thinking in English. Generally, what happens when we start speaking in English, when we start making the conversation in English in public or in a group or with the colleagues or with a friend or with a family member, what happens generally? We generate the sentences in Hindi. Thereafter, we translate into English and then deliver. In that, it takes a lot of time. You think about tenses, you think about structure, you think about the translation, and after that, your translation delivered in front of the people. Till then, it's been too late while delivering the conversation, while delivering the speeches in front of the people. In that, you get nervous. With fluency, your speeches doesn't come out and you don't get the proper result. So what you have to do, just think, just think a single statement in English and start delivering it. In that, the delivering time will be reduced. How it will? Once you started thinking in English, you don't need to translate, you don't need to think about structure, you don't need to think about sentences, you don't need to think about what grammar, nothing. What you have thought, in one side your brain will think, and second side your mouth will deliver it. Into that, there will be less timing, there will be less time to think and deliver, and there will be proper combination. So once you started doing like that, your conversation, your imaginating power, your delivering the speeches, it will be amazing, right? So the first step is start thinking in English. I'm not saying that at the same time start thinking the you sentences, a larger sentence. No, not at all. Some statements, some words you need to think about. As an example, once I started saying I have to go to field, or I have to go in the field, what comes in your mind? Khelna, right? You didn't think about playing, you didn't think about to play, right? You thought about khelna. You have to change this. You have to think at the place of khelna, that is play, right? You have to think laugh. You have to think about what smile, hasna. At the place of hasna, you have to think about smile. So everything should be in your mind in English, not in Hindi. Then you could be a good English speaker. Now, coming towards the next. Number two, that is good evening. Good evening, everyone. Number two, that is try at least 7 unknown words or the statement in your regular conversation. What I said, at least 7 statement, at least 7 words. Every single day, unknown 7 statement, unknown 7 words you have to speak every single day, right? It is not required to mug up. Already I have told you, or I'm going to tell you. It is not required to mug up the sentences or the words. The question being from where I can collect all those 7 different words or the sentences that will be completely unknown from my regular life. Of course, the numbers of sources are there. If you are the newspaper reader, if you buy the newspaper every single day and it is English, then it's too much good. At least start studying a paragraph of English newspaper. Definitely you will get the 7 different statements. That is more than enough. It is not required to memorize. It is not required to filter the unknown words. It is not required nothing. Only you have to study. Only you have to read. Only you have to read the 7 unknown words. 7 unknown words. Only 7 unknown words. 7 unknown words you have to read about. 7 unknown statement you have to read about. 7 unknown statement. That's enough. That's enough for making you a fluent speaker. That's enough to make you smarter in your conversation. Next, number 3, what it is? Number 3, that is put your ego inside. In English conversation, in English talking, not only in English, even in Hindi, even in any regional languages, whatever the language you are speaking, just put your ego inside. What happens sometimes if you are trying to speak in English with the people and you are not good enough, you are not good enough to deliver your speeches in front of the people who is speaking English with complete fluency. At that time, what happens? You think that, okay, you're trying to be more smarter than me, right? In that ego comes between. If someone is telling you that you are speaking wrong and this is the right form of this statement, then you need to happily accept that, right? Every single time you need to try to accept that statement. If someone is trying to make you correct, especially when you are wrong, right? Never be scared. Never be scared accepting your mistakes. If someone is saying at that moment, just accept with complete happiness. So never bring your ego in between your conversation. If someone is speaking in front of you in Hindi, try to talk with him in Hindi. But if someone is speaking in front of you in English, try to make the whole conversation, complete conversation with that particular person in English. Either it is wrong or right, at that moment of time, you don't need to think about. There is two benefits of that. What is the first? If your conversation is good, then definitely you will be appreciated. If your conversation is not good, the people who are you talking to, they will make you correct. They will definitely interrupt you at the time of making conversation. At that moment of time, your mistakes will always keep you memorizing that at that moment, at that time, you have committed the mistakes. And after that, you will never do this mistake again. Now, so what I said, put your ego inside all the time, put your ego inside, especially when you are making the conversation in English. And it is being more important when you are the beginner. You are the beginner one. When you have just started speaking English, right? At that moment of time, just be shameless. Be shameless while speaking English. Whatever you are speaking, only there should be in your mind that the fluency should be there. You can eradicate your problems, you can eradicate your sentence making capacity, you can eradicate your every single error from your statements, from your sentences slowly. Only things matter, that's the fluency. And one more thing, during speaking you need to try that your fluency shouldn't be broken. Sometimes you have to speak in Hindi, some words, few words, if you have to speak in Hindi, at that moment after you don't know how to elaborate that particular statement or the word, you can speak in Hindi. You only have to try. Your fluency shouldn't have broken, right? Next, coming towards the point number 4, what it is, never hesitate committing mistakes while public speaking. Never hesitate committing mistake. I have already said to you, never hesitate committing mistakes while speaking in front of people in public, right? What happens when you hesitate? When you hesitate while speaking, public recognizes you and they understand that he doesn't know or she doesn't know or you don't know. So you don't need to hesitate. Whatever, generally people commit mistake. If you speak in Hindi, then also you commit mistake. As an example, you, if you have to say kahar barsana, right? If you have to say kahar barsana, then barsana is the wrong thing. Barsana is the wrong word, right? At the place of barsana, it is called barpana. It's the pure Hindi. So at the time of speaking Hindi also, you commit mistake. So what's wrong if we are committing mistake while speaking English? So it can make you the fluent speaker. You don't need to hesitate. You don't need to hesitate. Not at all. You don't need to hesitate at the time of speaking English, right? So always try to be fluent. If you are speaking English in front of the people, in front of the public, in front of anybody else, in front of your family, in front of your friends, in front of your colleagues, in front of your batchmates, in front of your college friend, in front of everyone, if you started speaking English, don't worry, don't hesitate. Whatever you know, just deliver it. Simple. Whatever you know, just deliver it. And again, don't be scared while committing mistake. Don't be scared. Don't be scared while committing mistake. It teaches you every single time. It teaches you. If someone interrupt you at your mistakes, you never forget that, right? So it teaches you whenever you did a mistake, at that moment of time, if someone is interrupting you, no, you are not speaking right, this statement is wrong, at that moment of time, From that moment of time, you never forget that things. And through this, you will eradicate every single problem, your speeches, from your conversation. So also, this fourth point, four tips: never hesitate while making conversation and even committing mistake with public and making the conversation also, right? So you all the time you have to be fluent in front of the people. You don't have to hesitate, you don't have to hesitate while committing mistakes. Again, you can do with a complete happiness. If you don't know, of course I will, definitely somewhere somebody will be there to make you correct in your conversation, in your words, in your statement. So it is good thing. Coming towards point number 5. What the point number 5 is, at least start learning easy English books. What easy English books are? What English books are? See, if you don't find the books, if you don't take interest in the books, okay, the numbers of sources you have, definitely I can give you the guarantee. Every single students nowadays are carrying smartphone. In that, they watches the numbers of serials, they watches the numbers of web series, they watches the numbers of movies, and the numbers of movies are coming in English. If they don't watch the movies in English language, then definitely the subtitles are in English. So read that. It will be better if you watch the movies or the web series or whatever you are watching, the language will be in English. It will be more better, right? So at least start learning, at least start reading easy English book like Panchtantra. Start speaking one or two class English books. In that, there is a short story, there is a short poem you can study about, through which your vocabulary will be stronger. Slowly, your vocabulary will be stronger. So it will also help you. Now, coming towards steps number 6. What steps number 6 is? Never try to mug up. Never try to mug up or feel embarrassed. Feel embarrassed, that's the more important thing. What happens generally, a lot of time I have seen in the classes that if someone is speaking and somewhere he or she stuck, rest of the students started laughing on them, right? At that moment of time, they feel embarrassed, and after that, whatever is in their mind, it's become complete blank, and they couldn't be able to speak anything else, any single words after that. Why? Because they feel embarrassed. Already I have said that becomes shameless while speaking. Never ever think that who is speaking, what is speaking, why they are laughing, what are the subject behind laughing. Don't. Never try to think about this. Whatever, with what motives you have stood in front of the whole classes, you have stood in front of the public, just speak that, just deliver that. After delivering the whole statement, you need to think about, you need to ask about, you need to ask to the people that why you are laughing, right? If they have caught your mistakes, definitely they will help you out. But if they haven't, they don't even know that why they were laughing. Numbers of students only laugh, numbers of people only laugh because somebody else is laughing, someone else is laughing, right? After watching the people follow their steps, you don't need to think about them. You only think about your own subjects, on what you are going to speak, what you are speaking, right? So never feel embarrassed. Again, I'm repeating the same thing. Never feel embarrassed. Once you started feeling embarrassed in earlier stage, in beginning, you can never speak in English, right? So never feel embarrassed again. Never try to mug up. See, mugging up is a bad habit, always. So try to speak the things same time, again and again, through which it will be practiced, not the mugging up. Okay. Now, coming towards the next, mug up means ratte marna. रट्टू तोता आप जानते हैं ना, मगिंग अप मीन्स रट्टे मारना. You don't need to do that. Mugging up is a bad habit for every single students. If you have to memorize the things, start the words or the statement patching up with the next one. What I said, start the word or the sentences patching up with the next one. Right? Use that particular word or the statement on anybody else. Use that particular statement. Like I have to say curriculum activities. I don't know about the curriculum activities. Right? So you just need to start using that particular thing. In schools, the numbers of curriculum activities has been done. Right? Through which I could come to know what the curriculum activities is. I have to say extraordinary activities. I have to say extraordinary habit. Right? I have to say Waterloo trap. What Waterloo trap is? I have read in dictionary that is called Waterloo trap, but I don't know the meaning. I found at once, and after that I started using. Waterloo trap means the people who all the time appreciate only themselves. They don't think about others. They always try to others put down, and they try to what? Boost up only themselves. They don't think about others. Others are embarrassing or whatever happening with them, they don't even think. That is called Waterloo Falls. Waterloo Falls trap or Waterloo trap. Right? So if someone is there, if in my circle, if in my friend, if someone is there, all the time he boasts, all the time he boasts, all the time he boasts, all the time he only appreciate itself, all the time he only appreciate itself. Right? At that time we can say that you have the habit of Waterloo trap. You have the habit of Waterloo trap. In that case, I can recognize that what Waterloo trap is called. There is a quote. There is a quote. What? You are not as good as you are thinking about yourself, or someone is not bad as you are thinking about themselves. Right? There is a quote. So what I said, never try to mug up and never be embarrassed. Now, that is the last one, and the last one is, if it is possible, leave speaking Hindi for 7 days. That is the Ramban treatment for your speaking English. That is the Ramban treatment to make you the fluent speaker. Someone said, become mad behind speaking English, right? So this is the question being, how can we do like that? Of course, you can do. If someone who is not speaking English, who don't know speaking English, like mom and dad, right? In your family, if your mom and dad is not able to speak in English, at least few words, few statement, few sentence, teach them. Teach them that this is called like that. Do you need food? Do you need water? Please have me a water, glass of water. I need to take breakfast. Please give me the breakfast. Right? These kind of normal statement you can teach in your family, to whom you have to talk every single day. After that, you don't need to speak Hindi. At least few words speak to your mom and dad, but it must be in English. Right? After that, don't speak for 7 days only. For 7 days only, because the 7 days is more than enough time to adopt your habit in English. Every single habit, speaking habit, can be adopted in 7 days. That is why it is called 7 days is more than enough. So leave speaking Hindi for 7 days. That is the last one. Okay, so these 7 tips are there which can makes you the brighter and the smarter speaker in English, right? So I hope you like this 7 tips and you will follow. And I can give you the guarantee, if you are following, then you must be the English speaker. In this session of this class, we are just skipping this session at this moment. And it's time to make the classes over because already I have told a lot of things. We'll see in the next class with a different topic. Till then, thank you. The class is over. Good night.